edition of Splat. Tonight we've got the commanders from Normanday for this weekend's event at Whitewater Paintball.
River.
River Paintball, sorry.
That's White River. Whitewater rafting down the street. It's whitewater rafting down the street.
I got Bryan Gomes on this line, of course, and I've got Tree Trunk on the phone as well, both commanding this weekend. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hello.
So, you guys ready for this weekend?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, fucking just lost yesterday, so I'm hoping it gets better this weekend. Karl, is it looking better for me this weekend?
Sorry, bud.
It's not looking good then. All right, I'm hoping I might be going into a 3-game losing streak then, depending how this weekend goes.
So, which team?
Looking good for me.
What up, Karl?
It's looking good for me.
So it's looking good for him, bad for me.
So, who is what are the teams that you guys are commanding this weekend?
You mean like teams we got showing up, or?
Yeah, like, is there Axis and the Allied?
Yeah, I'm the Axis commander.
Yeah, I'm Allied.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I'm not even going to lie. The only reason I took this gig... Are you on speakerphone?
Who is?
You, because it's getting a feedback. At least I'm hearing it. Are you hearing it, Karl, or no?
I hear a TV.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can turn the TV off.
No, it was sounding like feedback, but it don't matter. All right, no, the only reason I even took this gig was the first time I went to White River, they had that awesome, like, the beaches area set up. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. We get to play on this motherfucker. And then we find out we're not allowed to for that event. So, yeah, when they asked me to do this, when the promoter did, I'm like, well, we get to be on the beach? I'm like, do I get to be the team assaulting the beach? Then, yes, I'll do it. That was seriously like it. I was like, all right, then, yes, I'm in.
Hey.
But, yeah, and then it turns out they did a whole new field. They just got done building it like a week ago, which is awesome because this thing looks badass.
It's an amazing field.
Karl, where are you from? Because I'm not local to that field. I don't know if you are.
I'm from Champaign, Illinois.
Okay. Oh, well, so that's like only, an hour and a half drive or so for you, 2 hours?
About 2.5.
Okay, so you're actually about the same thing as me then, because I'm 2.5, 3.
Yeah.
So, all right, neither of us are local.
Over and played the field. They just had a scenario boot camp July 1st. So
was it good? I mean, it seems laid out really nicely, very evenly for the most part, symmetrical.
As long as it stays dry, it'll be a great field to play.
You're saying so it's not like a death trap slipping inside the containers, or?
No, the containers are really good. The field itself can get kind of muddy because of all the construction they just did.
Oh, okay, yeah. Didn't even think of that.
But, they went out, they bought a bunch of hay, they bought a bunch of quick dry, stuff like that, just to make sure that it wasn't a soupy mess. But
that's cool.
They really put a lot of money into this field. It actually looks really, really good.
Well, shit, from what I heard, they bought, 40 containers?
Yeah.
Or some shit like that?
Like shipping containers?
I mean, yeah, and even cheap, because I almost had to buy some for my job. I think on a deal, still like $5,000 a piece or something.
Yeah, they didn't pay that much for them.
Well, I mean, it depends, yeah. But the cheapest I found one that was in decent shape was around $3,000 or $2,500. I think $3,000 was the cheapest we found one to buy it outright.
Yeah,
but I could be wrong.
I think they said about a total of $38,000 on this field.
Yeah, I believe it. So I mean, if you bought 40 and granted they bought in bulk, we were only trying to buy 2.
Yeah. Because they bought some for this field, but then they also bought some. They put on a haunted house every fall.
Okay.
So they bought some of the containers for that as well.
Well, didn't they convert the indoor area to a haunted house there?
They did. However, they dismantled that to turn it back into an indoor arena as well.
Okay. Because the year I went there, it was a haunted house still, and this was in March. Yeah, so they had just left it at that time for that.
Yeah, at that time they had, but they converted it back over to an arena to where they were able to get in there and play during the winter and stuff.
I think you were at that game, weren't you? At the Blood Diamond a couple years ago.
That was actually a game that I was putting on.
That's what I was going to say. That was the one where they had the dude with the gun, the farmer next door.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I was at the game. That's the first time I played at White River right there. I was like, talk about a first impression. If you're not getting shot by a paintball, you got a chance of getting shot by a gun here.
Damn.
Well, that was just a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Fixed there. But, yeah.
Yeah, that's literally all it was. Is
just players talking and not really understanding what all was happening.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much, at least from what I got out of it after everything was done.
Yeah.
But as long as you say the guy with the gun, then everybody remembers right away what happened. Or that something happened, I should say. But yeah, that was the first time I played there, and that was a couple years ago. So was that 3 years ago or so?
I think so.
Yeah, it's got to be somewhere around there, because that's when I first started playing again after my surgery.
2014.
Sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah. Because I put on games there for 3 years.
Okay. Well, Saxton was telling me you're the one that kind of took him under your wing so he could take over doing it over there.
I did, yeah.
I was like, well, that was cool. He just told me. I was talking to him last week when we were having that big kind of commanders meeting, I guess you'd call it.
Uh-huh.
Bouncing off the rules, and that's when I was like, what the hell got you to start doing it? And that's when he was telling me about you helping him out. Well, showing him more or less.
He had a lot of great ideas coming in, and I know his ideas are really going to be put forth into these scenarios. He's an individual that's very mission-heavy set.
Okay.
So you can expect a lot of missions, which, when you have a lot of teams on your side, turns out really well. It really gets all of the players
involved.
They're new, old, whatever, it doesn't matter. It gets a lot of the players really involved in the game.
Okay.
One of the things that we started was there's props out there that are just for young guns.
Okay.
So young guns 16 and under are the only ones that are able to pick them up.
Which is cool. I think that's a good idea.
Absolutely. I mean,
get the young guys.
So it says back by popular demand. So did they have an event like this last year?
They did. Last year we brought it back, but before that, I had gone away from Beaches of Normandy just because everybody does a Beaches of Normandy.
Okay.
Out in Pennsylvania, there's a lot of fields that do the landing craft, stuff like this. So I wanted to get away from that and bring something different in. But a lot of the players really, really liked it. They liked the World War II theme, so that's why they brought it back into play.
So,
yes.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I literally only went to that field 3 years ago because their promotional video had them, showing them coming off the landing craft area into the beaches. So yeah, I was one of the people, like you said, a lot of people go for that to try to do that, that fun. I was one of them.
Yeah, my first game there back in 2011 was the Beaches of Normandy. So it was a lot of fun then.
So what kind of things can people expect this weekend? Like, what kind of layout are we talking? I know I've talked to several people. I've talked to different people on different events and stuff. So how will this event compare to, World at War 6 that was just this weekend, or even a Mission Masters game? Like, where does this game kind of fit into that mix?
Bryan, how about you handle that one? Seems like you just did.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, I don't know if you did either of those. Did you? I know.
Not.
Yeah, I was gonna say, from talking to Chris and the way I definitely wouldn't put it up against like Mission Masters as far as format layout, time wise and whatnot. I would definitely put it a little more like a linear compared to like Payroll or Grim. People that put on, just more of a whole day and schedule it out from there. He does seem that I like about Chris, and this is coming as a commander, I love how much he's communicating to us. If you have an issue with rules, if there's something you want to clarify, like he's given us 100 opportunities to get it straight. I like that. I really do. I think as not a lot of promoters always do the best of job relaying information back to us and us relaying it back to people that are playing with us. So sometimes we're finding out the day of, or as the day's commencing, we're finding shit out. So I do like that about Saxton so far, what he's done. And I even told him that, like, dude, this is awesome. I know we're having tanks. We're allowed to have tanks, which is cool because not everybody does. I believe we're going to have a walking tank on each team. That's been confirmed. Yeah. Because I know there's a player on my team that's bringing one. And since Chris okayed it, he went out, that I understand, I think he went out of his way to build one for the other team.
He did.
Okay, yeah. So, which I'm like, dude, who does that? Most promoters be like, well, sounds like your problem. Should have brought one.
Yeah, this is actually my first game playing of Chris's, because in March I was injured. And in November I was in Hawaii. So this is actually my first game playing one of Chris's games. But I can tell you that he is completely wide open with all the information. He will tell you what the points are, what the perks are, everything. You have a printout of what the perks are, what they cost, everything like this. He does a really, really good job of communicating everything. I've been to several games where the scenario master won't tell you what the score is.
Which is okay. I like that personally.
Well,
personally,
it's good, but it's also bad. Because I'm one of the guys that I want it to be close. And if I don't know, one side is just creaming the other one by a lot of points, you don't know.
Okay. Well, you're talking as a player or as a commander? Or?
As a commander.
Okay. I mean, me personally, I don't mind, because I usually, if you're getting your ass beat, usually. You kind of figure it out.
Yeah, but I've also been to some games that pretty much the whole weekend doesn't matter, because the final battle is the same number of points as the rest of the weekend.
That is stupid. I've never agreed with that.
Yeah, this is nothing like that. He can break down exactly what everything is worth. The flag sticks, he's got, I think, 5 or 6 of them out there.
I believe it's 6. I think you are correct. I'd have to look at the map, the last map he gave us, which is pretty nice and detailed also.
Yep. And on Friday, we'll sit down and he'll break down, okay, this is how many points the slapsticks are worth every 20 minutes. This is the final battle. This is the opening battle. He doesn't tell you how much the missions are worth, just because, I mean, that's something that you open and find out and make the judgment calls on all of that. But he really does communicate everything very, very well.
So, yeah.
And you guys have either, well, I know, Bryan, you've played at this field, right?
Just that one time.
And then, Karl, have you played at this field yet?
I've played at this field for 6 years.
Wow.
I mean, because more or less, a lot of Champaign, I met not a lot, but a handful of teams I know from that area. Very few, but that's where I met them, was at White River, because it's a close drive for you guys.
Yeah. And, I mean, around Champaign, there's really not, there's no other scenario place that you can go and go play. Driving up to CPX, it's about the same time. It's 2.5 hours from me to CPX, but you're also looking at $100 a case and however much to get in for the games.
Yeah.
To where White River, if you pre-register, you can get it for $50 to get in.
Yep.
And if you buy, if you get together with,
I think it was 60.
If you buy 8 or more cases, then they give you a discount on that.
Oh shit! I didn't even know that.
So, with me and my team, I told my team, hey, I've set it up. All you got to do is call White River and say, hey, I'm with such and such, and, order your cases of paint, and they give you the discount off of it.
Well, shit, I wish I would have known that one. For next time, we know.
So, that sounds like a pretty good deal, though.
It is. And anytime,
it's really hard to make it affordable for the players.
Anytime fields do that, I appreciate it as a player, as a commander, anything. I mean, it really does help. I mean, because sometimes you got players that go, man, I just don't have the extra money for maybe 2 cases of paint. I can only afford one, but I'm one day they can't stretch it for 2 days. So sometimes that helps. I mean, because teams handle it different. I know sometimes, hey, every player pitches in an extra $10 to buy that extra case for our teammate. It's just what it is sometimes. Right. So yeah, it's nice to have those discounts because a lot of fields don't give a shit. You're either coming or you're not, and you're going to pay the price on the board, and that's that.
Well, yeah. And then
plus tax.
Oh yeah, for sure. It looks like the game starts at 10 on Saturday, and it goes till 1. It looks like you guys got a lunch break, and then it resumes back at about 2:30 on Saturday.
I think so, yeah.
2:30 to 5:30, yep. And then we pick back up at 10 a.m. on Sunday and go until 1.
Yep.
And then at 2:30 is the final battle, which will take place in their brand new Cargo City.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. That looks like that will be crazy to play in.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how Chris does the final battle. I'm really excited to see what he's got planned for that.
You saying as far as like keeping it super congested, or?
Well, there's a lot of nooks and crannies, a lot of windows. Just no one has ever played this field in a final battle format before, so nobody really knows the angles of it yet. So, I mean, this is brand new for everybody because you've never played it with 300 people on the field.
Yeah, because that's about what we're looking at already that I know pre-registered that Chris told us. Yeah. We're right around 300, and there's always at least 50 to 70 walk-ons.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at a good game this weekend. Hopefully the weather holds out. It's supposed to be in the high 80s, but...
That's one thing that did suck from this last weekend, from yesterday. First time in my life, I got a double cramp in each calf during the final battle. Yeah, I was like, oh, this sucks. And I think we were barely cruising around 80 all day. 70-something, high 70s, 80. I guess hydrate, right? We got to remind people to hydrate.
Absolutely. We're going to have water at our command center for people if they need it.
You know what? I was thinking about that, but what scared me is then you get where half the team wants to take a break on the field.
Yeah.
And you do, and that's where I'm kind of an asshole. It's like, hey, this is for players that are like fatigued or you need to clean your lens. This isn't a place to come and sit down. You want to sit, get off the field.
Yeah.
Because then they want to just sit there for 30 minutes. Like, well, just let me know when there's a mission. Like, I'm not going to tell you shit, dude. You're not helping anyway.
Yeah, the one thing that so last year it was hot as well. And White River went above and beyond, went out and bought water, and they had 20, 30 cases of water, and they put them in giant coolers next to the insertion or the entrances to the field. That way, when you came off the field, there was a cold water sitting there waiting for you.
That is actually awesome.
They really did a great job on
that. That is awesome. That is awesome.
And usually you have fields that charge for that stuff.
Well, I mean, even if they charge, I mean, it sucks that sometimes, like, dude, I can't even bring a bottle of water in with me. Like, I need to stay hydrated. But, I mean, at least they're being proactive. And because, honestly, if one player has heat fatigue and faints on the field, your game's ruined until they get them off.
Right.
And so if that happens on hot days like that 2-3 times, like, hey, guess what? That's 2, 3, 4, 5 times you're stopping the game because somebody's having heat stroke or whatnot.
Yeah, we've had individuals fall out before, and I mean, I've seen 3, 4 guys just pick up their guy who fell out because of heat and just carry him off the field.
Yeah. Yep.
It does kill the momentum of the field, but the safety is the most important thing.
Well, even that, this is something I took away from this last game, which happens at every game. But you get hot, and the first thing idiots do is take their mask off. But not even but they take it off completely, and it's like, dude, you're in the game. Like, you can't take your mask off just because you're at insertion. But I think I probably had about 3, 4 people this last Sunday that completely removed their mask. And they were probably 10, 15 feet away from a completely netted off safe zone next to the insertion. So yeah, that's one thing that sucks when it gets hot like this. That's another safety factor that really sucks is the tendency to want to remove it really fast to wipe it.
So they'll throw those people out, won't they, Brian?
No, I mean that I know of most. I mean, if you yell at people, put their mask on. Everybody's quick to do it because they realize they messed up or that they, had a lapse in judgment, just not thinking.
Right.
But I guess I'm assuming if somebody was constantly doing this, I would hope they'd throw the guy out because he is a danger. He's going to ruin the day for everybody, not just himself.
First, I talked with Brad. They have 20 to 25 refs for this game.
Okay, that's not bad.
Really trying to cover all of the areas, everything like this. These refs have been trained for the scenario.
And that I know a lot of the refs are also local refs, aren't they?
They are.
Okay, that's a double plus in my opinion.
To go and ref the open plays and stuff like that throughout the week and make sure that everyone has a good time. But they're also there to make sure that everyone is safe. So you want to make sure that you keep your mask on, and when you're outside the net, you want to make sure you get your barrel cover on. That way you don't get in trouble by them, because I know they do stage refs in the staging area to make sure that when you come off the field, you still got your mask on and your barrel cover's on when you're coming off. That way there's no question about it when you get through the net. They've redone their entrances to where they're an angled entrance, to where the chances of actually getting shot through the net just sitting there is very, very low.
Cut down a lot more. That's actually good.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're really, really trying hard to be safe, keep the players safe, and keep everyone out there charging hard.
So, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask, are we really looking to be in the high 80s this weekend?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm bad. I never look at the weather because since you signed up to command, you're going to be there no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
So I might look at it the night before when I pack, in case I got to pack something extra, a pair of pants or something or whatever, a sweater, who knows.
I never look at the weather, but I've got guys on my team that keep me pretty much updated on what we're looking at.
That's good.
So you both played at this field before, and so what's your favorite thing about this field? Like, how do you think it's gonna, benefit each side in, gaining the most points?
So far, looking at the way he cut the map in half, it looks like a balanced cut, doesn't it, Karl, or no?
It does, and that's one of the big things about it is making sure that the field is balanced to where one side doesn't have an advantage over the other. The insertions switch. So, obviously, my team is defending the berm. We're going to have that back insertion to start out with. But then in the afternoon on Saturday, we're switching to where Axis will be playing from over by where the landing crafts are. So you get an aspect of every part of the field. You're able to go and play all of it to where you're not just, well, this is where we're staying all weekend and this is where we start and this is the only part of it that we see.
Yeah,
travel around the entire field the whole time.
I prefer games like that because I've been to somewhere that has happened where you get stuck at one insertion, and sometimes it happens to be the half of the field that is balanced against you.
Yeah. So
it really starts killing morale through the weekend when it's like, well, we're getting slaughtered on this side of the field, and there's nothing we can do because we're also outnumbered. So, yeah, there are times that it goes bad to worse really fast for teams due to the field and the layout of it.
So then the final battle on Sunday you guys were talking about is in this new Cargo City, which from the pictures look like it's going to be pretty awesome. 300-400 people coming through there. Looks like there's several storage containers or shipping containers, so it looks like it'd be a good final battle.
How's it getting your ass up the angled containers? Is that something you could run up, or do you walk angled like coming up a hill?
They went ahead and they put wooden strips down.
I saw that, but this is something you could still run up more or less if you're leaning into it, I guess.
Yeah, you're still able to get up there pretty quickly.
Okay.
It'll definitely be interesting to see because both teams have a high point. So there's containers that are second-story containers that you're able to get into and shoot, and you have visibility over the whole field at that point. So having high ground, I mean, is absolutely great. You know, they have a bell tower with an actual bell in it that looks straight down the field where all three slapsticks are going to be at.
Hey, I'm being told we're allowed to ring the bell if we want to.
Absolutely.
Okay, because some people are like, no, you can't. I'm like, I'm being told otherwise, that it is okay. No, I'm telling you can't. I'm like, well, the people telling me yes are not you, so I'm probably going to ring that bell.
Yeah, I mean, we were there playing in it. They said, yeah, go ahead and ring the bell, have fun. That's what it's there for.
So it's not one of those things where the other team
Look, but
has to
don't
come
touch.
down and... Well, I meant like it's not one of those things where it's like the other team comes down and they ring the bell and then that's something.
You never know. That could be a mission.
Yeah.
Or something
That could end up being a mission. I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, Chris is one of those that, I mean, he is very mission-oriented. So I believe he told me that there are 27 missions on the first day alone.
Wow.
Yeah, something like that. I was just like, what are every 30 minutes? And probably overlap or whatnot.
I'm sure some of them are overlapped, but, I mean, 27 is a lot of missions.
But you know what? That is good, though, because there are times where a team has a section of the field hunker down, and the only way you're getting them off is when they run out of air and paint.
Right.
There's just times that I don't give a shit. That's just what it is. And when your objective is right there, you're just not going to get it, man. And so this is cool. If he is doing it where you have 2 or 3 missions running simultaneously, hey, you could, like you said, you make the decision to blow one mission and take the other 2. So that's kind of cool. That's something different to do, I think, to be able to do multiple missions at once. A lot of people don't do that, so that is different.
So do you guys have the producer, is he the type of guy that has puzzles, or does he just kind of say, okay, well, this is, does he have special characters? And I guess, so puzzles and characters?
You know what, I don't know. This is the first game of his that I'm playing. I actually met him earlier this year. We were at a Battle of the Hoth, and I was playing side by side by him. And he ended up commenting on a picture when they were posting him after the game. So I ended up getting in contact, and like we just started joking around. And from there is when he asked me to do this game. So yeah, I have no idea if he does. Karl, does he do anything cool things like that? Because Mission Masters will do like Juggernauts sometimes, or goofy puzzles. I don't know if Chris. When I talked to Chris, if he was going to start having his own like things that Chris does in a game, he said not that. He told me no, because he's more concerned with making sure the games are being ran good before he tries to goof around with them. So I don't know.
Well, one of the things that he does is he does a continuous mission to where it's you have to complete this mission, but that's part of a larger mission.
Okay, that's cool.
So you have to go retrieve this box, but then you have to open up the box and get whatever's inside of it, and then there'll be a card inside saying you must now go do this with whatever's in the box.
Gotcha.
So it's a lot of fun rather than just go and hold this slapstick for 45 minutes.
Gotcha. Yep.
I know Chris had gotten a hold of Bryan, and then he'd also gotten a hold of another gentleman from the Chicago area.
Yeah, I didn't want to. Yeah.
Standing against each other. And unfortunately, the other guy was not able to continue.
Which I wish wouldn't have happened, because ever since Karl took over, it seems like the recruiting numbers really went up on that team.
Well, but it was going to be 2 individuals who didn't have a lot of experience with this field commanding it and trying to pull more players down from the Chicago area. When the other gentleman had to step out, Chris looked for some other individuals who didn't have as much experience commanding and unfortunately wasn't able to find anyone, so he asked me. But for me, I said yes. I'm looking for a fun game. I've commanded this field a few times, and some of the best times have been where it comes down to 3 or 4 points, just hard fought all weekend long. And whether you win or lose, everybody goes home because they had a great time just talking about it. And, no one's really upset that they lost or anything like that. It's just, it would have been nice to win, but we still had an amazing time.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because yesterday, Karl, how many games have you commanded, if you don't mind my asking? Ballpark, if it's too many to count.
I think 9 or 10.
Have you ever had a team come up to you and cry afterwards and tell you, like, I'm upset that you didn't give my team an award?
No.
Never?
I've never had that.
If somebody did, well, how old would you think the person was if they did that? Like a young team, older team?
I would...
How old of a person would you expect to do that, I guess is what I'm asking.
Something like that. I mean, I could possibly see, some younger guys.
Teenagers or something?
Teenagers, low 20s.
Yeah, me too. That's the same thing I would have said.
But I've played in a lot of games. As far as the awards, that is probably the hardest thing.
Yeah, agreed.
Has to do. My XO and I have sat here and talked about different things, about doing this, doing that, whatever. And the hardest thing is going to be choosing who gets this award, who gets that award. Because when the weekend's over, your guys have completely drained themselves, or at least you hope so, fighting this for you. And you have to rely on individuals. Like a rule that I have for my team and my XO, his rule is the same on their team. My team, I will never give anything to.
Yeah.
If I'm commanding, that's not going to happen. And he's the same way.
Yeah, that's what my thing is just we don't command to pat our own trophies wall, our trophy wall. That's not why you command. And then I actually had somebody complain to me about that. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I literally told the person, I go, hey, I thought this was common practice, that you don't do this job because you expect an award for it.
Yeah.
Like, you're the first person that I've commanded with that didn't know this. I'm sorry. My bad. My bad.
Where my team has probably deserved something, because they do go and give it their all every single time. But they all understand. We don't give ourselves an award because it's not right.
No. And if you do, people look at you like you're a piece of shit. Not like you're a piece of shit, but it's like, oh, it's just because it's his team. And it's like, hey, my team may have came and played better and done more work, but it does look bad when you do it. I feel that it does.
Yeah, it absolutely does. I've seen it time and time again, and it's, individuals that's like, okay, that's fine.
I usually do my team and like good friends of mine. If you're a team that's always playing with us, very rare that I will give you an award. Because same thing, like I consider you almost like my team, so I can't. Like, you gotta have to really impress me today for me to be able to give this to you and earn it.
Yeah.
So what kind of awards are they giving out this weekend?
That I have no idea.
So
hopefully a bag of money. I'm hoping a bag of money.
Well, this last one in March, they did a different trophy for every award. So the trophies weren't the same. They do most valuable player, most valuable team, sportsmanship, young gun, and the Oh Crap Award.
Which one's the Oh Crap Award?
The Oh Crap is the same thing as the Mofo.
Oh, okay.
Given to the other team for a team that has just caused you so many problems all weekend long, you know their name by then.
Yeah.
So what teams do you guys have recruited so far?
I mean, Karl's list is a little longer than mine. Shit. You always got to put me on the spot, too. Karl, he asked this when we were with the person I commanded yesterday against for the World at War. And she's like, oh, I only have like 27 teams. And it's like, well, Jesus. And it's like, well, go ahead, shoot away. We took like 30 minutes just for her to read them off,
Jeez.
You know what? Honestly, Karl touched this earlier when he had said, because the other guy that was commanding against me originally, I forget his name. That is an issue. How you said to try to get teams from Chicago. It is hard to get teams from Chicago to want to go down there. I don't know what it is, but you tell them Indianapolis. No, I'm good. It's far. It's too far. And I'm like, dude, really? Like, and you see other games they travel to, and it's like, it's really not that far. Nah, that's too far. It's really far, and they don't even try. It's like, holy shit, you guys are lazy. But at the same time, they're spoiled too, because if you live in the Chicagoland area, you have a lot of quality fields within an hour to 2 hour drive from you. You don't have to go far to get some nice fields, So yeah, but it's hard to get Chicago teams to go down there. I think
I've got several teams, few of them from Kentucky. Some that stretch all the way from Missouri. That's one of the things that I've noticed about some of the individuals from St. Louis and stuff like that. They'll travel for some really good games.
Yeah, well, and people that are down the street are like, nah, I'm good.
Well, and I mean, I know there's some individuals who've had issues with different fields here and there, and
that happens. Nothing you can do about it.
But the thing that I'd say to them is, things do change over time. New people come in, new people take over things. Give the field a chance. If it turns out that you still don't like it, well, you're not out anything, because let's face it, has anyone ever really had a bad day playing paintball?
Yeah. But you know what? Hold on. I can't say I had a bad time because I got owned or that it was better. They were better than me. I do have an issue like what you're getting at with if the owners do something, in my opinion, to kind of screw over the players or not as, I mean, you have to make money if you're running a business, but there is a line where you have to treat your customer like a person.
Absolutely. And
there are a lot of fields, not a lot. There are fields that I've played at that sometimes they don't make right by their players and don't care to, because they kind of feel like, well, you already spent your money here, so no big deal. And it's like, well, hey, dude, I know where I'm not taking my team back next year or the year after that. So there you go, the problem fixed.
A lot of fields recognize that. I mean, there's been a few. There's been a field that I went to. It started up. I knew a couple of the guys that owned it, and just really didn't get along with those guys. Ended up that it rolled over into a few other people's ownership, and I went there, and when a field starts out, it's pretty rough.
Yeah, I believe it.
Fights were breaking out on the field, stuff like this, and it's like, look, I've got kids on my team. I'm not bringing them to your field.
Yeah.
This is the things that are going to be going on. But over time, the owners realize, hey, we need to get control of this. We need to do this. We need to do this. For a while, White River didn't really cater to the teams or anything like that. And they're not catering to the teams, but they're recognizing that a lot of the teams are the ones who bring in a lot of players, stuff like that. Hence the discount that they're giving as far as paint, when you order 8 cases or more. And that's not just for teams, that's anybody. If you've got 4 or 5 guys coming and you can call up and say, hey, I want to pre-order paint, that's for anybody. But that was designed to help out with the teams and stuff, because a lot of the fields that teams go to, they want some kind of, well, I'm bringing 15, 20 guys. What can you do?
Or not what can you do, what are you willing to do?
Right.
Because sometimes it's like, hey, I can't do anything.
Yeah. And there's times that they're right. I mean, they're kind of stuck as far as what they can charge and stuff like this, because, like you said, they have to make money. If they don't make money, they can't keep putting on games.
Or keeping the field open, not just putting on games, keeping the fields open.
Right. But, it's a good field. People should come give it another try if they've tried it before and it wasn't their cup of tea. They've changed some things around. They've got a couple of different scenario masters doing things. They should come check it out.
So I love the new building they made. So, or new map that they built.
Yeah,
so,
the cargo.
Cargo City. I was going to call it Cargo Madness, and I'm like, that is not the name. Just make up a name. The old Cargo Castle. It's like, we don't have a castle.
The old Cargo Castle. Everybody's got to have a castle.
Yeah, well, EMR, they got a... You ever seen that? Been there, Karl?
I've not, but my team is planning on going there next year.
All right, well, I'm planning... I bought it. I prepaid for my entry. Or paid for the prepaid registration to go to their September game for Dreaded Legends or whatever it is. Or Endless Legends. One of those legends.
Yeah.
I really want to play there, and I know if I wait for my team to go, I'm probably never going to go because it's never going to be more than 1 or 2 or 3 guys or maybe 1 guy. That I'd rather go with teammates, but fuck it. If I got to go solo, I'll go solo.
Well, this will be a good warm-up for you then because EMR actually has a cargo container city as well.
Oh, look at that. It seems like that's the way to go now. I wonder if it's just because it's overall cheap to build with and safer and easier. Because, I mean, when you're building shit out of wood, you still got to maintenance it, got to go treat the wood every so often, check for nails coming loose.
Yeah.
I'd imagine these containers, just throw them up there and they're pretty much done. I mean, they're going to rot eventually, but how long is that going to
be? Now, they put holes in those, right?
Yeah, they put a bunch of windows and doorways. Well, the windows I saw.
Yeah, they cut windows in both sides of the cargo containers.
Which is nice, so you can't just... you could dish out paint, but you're also going to get it back. So that's always fun.
They put bunkers inside the cargo container. That way, it's not just you walk in the door and it's a
mowing.
Gallery.
Yeah,
You've got some kind of cover. They've got one where there's a car in between, up on a second story, in between 2 containers. So you come out of the container and you're opening the open. You have a car for a bunker, and then you go back into the container to go down to the other side.
Did they end up putting a railing on the opposite side of that car? I saw the picture where the car, but I'm like, what the hell's on the other side?
Yeah, that's a railing to make sure.
Okay. Nobody's like, woo!
Very cool.
Yeah, I was wondering what they put up there.
Yeah, it's good to have that second story and everything, but you also got to be safe. And paintball players, we're not always the smartest individuals. We see
no
go for it, and not pay attention, and end up falling off and getting hurt.
Yeah, it's like, it didn't look that steep. It's like, it's a cliff, dude. I mean, it's true. You just get so in the zone, like, I'm going to get that guy. I'm going to get him. And you take off running, and, like, you didn't see that? You didn't see that in front of you? Nope. Well, shit, yesterday I almost got impaled. Me and Will from Mad Frog were running into the bushes, and there was, like, one of those metal spikes you put down to put a fence on. It's one of those steel posts that's for fencing. And it looks like somebody just threw it in the bush, but, it's green, so it blended in until, like, what the fuck is this? Like, dude, really? Like, so I stopped playing, picked it up, and carried it off. So, yeah, sometimes safety isn't always, you're not paying attention.
Now,
what the hell's, and it's laying right there. What's up?
Is this field, I can't remember if this is if they can use first strike out there. They're going to be some mag-fed
White River
players.
does use first strike.
What did you say, Karl?
They're not able to use first strike.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Okay, and then they don't have a separate event for mag-fed, correct? You just go out there and play with everybody else, right?
Yes.
That's
I believe open play will still be open on the other half of the field.
Yeah, they're going to have they've got 2 other fields that they do open play on for the weekend when there's a scenario. But I've seen tons of mag-fed players come out and play this event. And the great thing about it is you have individuals who will definitely get into the bush, get into the cargo city, and really conserve their ammo because they have to make sure that they got that right shot. Because unfortunately, they can't sustain fire like with hoppers and stuff like that. So,
right.
Just lead them into the shots like a fighter pilot.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I don't. You know what? Honestly, Chris, I don't think that it really they need to do mag-fed events only or separate anymore because there's enough mag-fed players. All the scenario games I've been to, even this year, I feel that mag-fed has really, really got a huge following. Granted, mag-fed players do like mag-fed only events, but I don't think that they have to do separate ones.
I just didn't know. I mean, the last few events, they had one, this past weekend, and I even want to say they had one at the event that I talked to. What was it? Was it LLX, or was it even the one after that? Was it Armageddon? Maybe they had a MagFed event.
Living Legends, I believe, does ones on Friday or something.
MagFed only game on Friday.
Yeah. I don't remember Armageddon. Not sure. If it was on Friday, it is possible. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't anything crazy that people should know about White River, Karl, that they don't know, or that most outside of hydrate this weekend. I just think mosquitoes. Keep the mosquitoes off you.
Spray the bottom of your pants and your shoes. I know ticks are really bad this year, so you may want to take a preventive caution. Spray your pants down. Spray some of your gear down. Promethean. You can find it, Walmart, Dick's, stuff like that. That's what we always spray our stuff down before we go out for D-Day in Oklahoma. We spray all of our stuff down to make sure that we don't come back in with...
What about jerseys?
Jerseys are good to spray down.
I'm saying you spray everything pretty much head to toe?
You do, yeah. You need to spray it a couple of days ahead of time to make sure that everything can dry. You don't need to spray your underwear or anything like that, just your outer clothing.
Okay, and then don't wash it, obviously, until you use it.
Right. Well, Promethean is actually one of those things that it will stay in your clothing for up to 6 washes.
Oh, wow.
So, you spray it in and you get it saturated in there, and it'll do good.
So that's just for the ticks?
That's actually for ticks, fleas, a whole mess of bugs.
Well, we shouldn't have to worry about the fleas, should we?
No, not really.
Ticks is definitely, we're all about ticks, but the fleas, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I mean, women do say men are dogs, so you never know. No, I only ask because White River's a lot more woods area than most other fields. So that's why.
It's about half and half as far as woods to open area, just because of the beach and the city and stuff.
Yeah, because the fields are spread out in all reality.
They do have a creek running through it. There is a little bit of a ravine. If it does rain, it's going to be muddy. So
wear your boots.
But White River is one of those fields that it's a good, wholesome field that you don't have any problem with bringing your kids, coming in and just having a good time.
But you got to watch them. You got to watch your kids. Don't forget that part.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I say that. No, hold on. I say that. When we went to that Blood Diamond game I asked Chris about, when we were there was a family. I mean, it was like it looked like a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever the situation was, that went to play, and they both went to play and left like their kid that was maybe 4 or 5 out by their pop-up camper and like the dog watching them. I'm like, what the fuck? Who does this?
God.
Like, Jesus Christ. I was just like, is this really happening? So I was hoping that maybe the mother or the dad, one or the other, just went to the bathroom. I don't know, but this is
talking about the mom actually wasn't out playing.
She was not? Okay, so maybe she was in the camper because we saw nobody. I'm like, where are your parents, kid? So I'm hoping that it was just maybe they ran off and came right back. Because the kid and the dog had a good relationship to where they didn't look like any of them was going anywhere.
Right.
All right, so this was a safe situation then.
It is, but...
Okay. Not trying to burn anybody.
You do need to watch your kids. You need to watch... Because if your kids are out playing, they don't always understand what heat exhaustion is, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You need to keep an eye on them. Make sure that they're hydrating, stuff like that. The absolute best thing to do
is ask them if they've pissed yet.
Get out there with you.
Oh,
have a Camelback on you, the way you've got water with you at all times.
Honestly, stupid thing I tell people too, when we're like, if they're at insertion or taking a breather, I'll ask them if they've pissed lately.
Yep.
Because if you're not peeing, dude, it means you're drying up fast. So like, go drink something now.
Well, and that'll, like you guys are saying, it's going to be in the 80s this weekend, so it's going to be, I mean, warm and probably humid because it's Indiana, and
Yep.
you expect nothing less from summers out here. But
Yeah. Well, is it supposed to be really humid?
I mean, I don't know what the humidity is, but usually, I mean, this weekend wasn't bad. Like it was 80 this weekend, but it didn't seem very humid outside.
Because I believe you guys get a slightly different climate than us, since I'm a little closer to the lake than you guys are.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, usually with the lake, you'll have a little bit cooler.
Yeah.
With
Lake effect snow.
yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, yeah, like you're saying, I mean, it's make sure everybody's hydrated and stuff.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, though, like Karl said, a lot of people don't realize is they're getting heat exhausted until they're on the ground. One of my teammates had to pick somebody up this week and like carry him off the field, and my guy's 6'2", and this dude was pretty much like passed out on the ground. He's like, "No, I'm fine. I'm just taking a breather." And my guy's like, "You're not fine. Like, you need to get off the field." I'm like, the guy's like, "Oh, I'm good though," because a lot of people, I guess, never really have been through that, right?
Yeah. So I just looked up. On Friday, we're looking at 80 with AM thunderstorms, 60% chance of precipitation, and 75% humidity. Saturday's 82, partly cloudy, with 66% humidity. And Sunday's 84, sunny, and 68% humidity.
That's not
It's going to be humid all weekend long. The biggest problem that we'll have is on Saturday, because of it being partly cloudy, people don't realize
how hot it is.
How hot it is, and that they're still sweating and stuff because they're not directly in sunlight. So when you don't realize what's all going on, you can drop really, really quickly.
You know, I was thinking, I was just gonna say shields. I did ask, and they said we're not allowed to use shields. I don't know if anybody had asked on your team.
No one asked on my team.
Because World of War allowed them this past weekend, that's the reason I asked Saxton, and he said absolutely not. You know what? They were very well. I liked the way they allowed them to be used. I don't know. They were actually cool. They were used very, very balanced, I think, at this last event. So I would like to start seeing shields more often, especially to help balance it out for a lot of the MagFed players. So
yeah,
that would be cool.
It'd definitely be an interesting thing to see those out on the field. But I know from a Scenario Master's aspect, those are really hard.
A nightmare?
Plan because whenever I planned events, I looked at it from how I would do things. And
you mean as a player, or?
Yeah, from a player, how would I do this? And an example, there was an event where we did a night game, and it was worth points, and I took glow sticks and scattered them out. We had probably 100 glow sticks scattered out where the city was. And we made the rules that, you couldn't put them in a pocket, you had to carry them, everything like this.
So you mean you had to carry them visibly, like in your hand?
Correct.
Okay, so none of this shit like double stack your hand to hide it type thing?
No, it has to be visible. And for me, I'm looking at this like, so I'm going to pair people up. One guy's a shooter, one guy's a runner. Because that's how I think. I want people shooting. And both commanders ended up telling all of their people, without knowing what the other side was doing, all of their people to drop their guns and just run for glow sticks.
Oh, my God. This had to be awesome. It was a slap fight. It was a slap fight.
And it ended up that one team got 52 and the other one got 48.
That is so awesome. So it was just a run for it.
Yeah.
Holy shit. You know what, though? But they got it done as fast as possible, right?
They did. They absolutely did. And, I mean, that was something that I did not foresee Commander's doing.
No, I wouldn't have thought to do that either. I mean, I'd send out a squad to run, but you're going to send some gunners to cover for them. I would never have thought to just run. Like, I'm sorry, I don't know how fast you are, but I know how fast I am, and I don't think I'm going to get there first. I don't see that happening.
Well, there's a reason they call me Tree Trunk.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, man. It's like, yeah, I'm probably going to lose this foot race before it started, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah. But this weekend should be an absolutely amazing weekend. We'll have a lot of fun. It'll be a good event. I know they give away a ton of prizes.
Oh, very cool.
And, so the Scenario Boot Camp.
2 500-pound bricks.
Dang.
They gave away some Axe Pros, some Axe Pro 2s. They gave away TPX. So
those are not cheap markers either. I mean, what are those Axe Pros going for new? Like 500 still? 450 or something?
I think so. I'm not absolutely.
I believe that their price is like 450, something like that.
So one of the winners, Edwin Siriano, I'm not sure if I'm saying his last name right. He's Mallow on the Grim Reapers. He won an Axe Pro 2, so his name was drawn for it. And we had met this kid, 13 years old, just started getting into paintball. He had an entry-level speedball marker, just above a spider.
Like a Phoenix or something or not a Phoenix, but it was a spider.
Like
probably a Felix.
Aldroid or something like that.
Yeah.
It was the Blitz. And I'm sure it's a great gun. But you take a gun that, doesn't have a board, doesn't have a battery.
And you got yourself a Tipman.
Pretty much. Form. And so Edwin had won this gun. This kid had been running around with us the whole weekend, or the whole day on Saturday. And Edwin called him up, gave the kid the gun. So gave him a $500 gun. That's the level of individuals that you have at White River. Does he need it? No. Could he sell it? Absolutely. Because I know most of them are heading up to Hell Survivor the weekend after our game to go up there and play. And let's face it, paintball's an expensive sport.
Yep.
That it is.
Selling a $500 marker, get $400 or $500 out of it.
Yeah, honestly, if it's new, even if he got it new, he'd probably get $300 on it.
Possibly.
Oh, yeah.
That's still a good $300 in your pocket.
Right. Turned around and gave it to this 13-year-old kid.
I mean,
that kid is coming out this Saturday to play.
I've
on your team.
I was going to say. I've said this before. I mean, it never gets old, but the paintball community, I think, in a whole, you always have, it's like a giant family, because I don't know anybody that I usually talk to, except for, Bryan, I'm getting to know him, and Mary and James, I don't know if you're familiar with them or not, Karl, but
no, I'm not.
I just get to know these players that have played, and they would do anything to help somebody else out, or to, just stuff like that. Get a $500 marker and give it to some young gun that needs it, or because it's all about, in my opinion, it's always about growing the sport. And it's not the older guys that are going to grow it; it's the young guns that are going to grow it. It's it's that generation that'll continue to carry on paintball. Because if they like it, they'll bring their kids and so on and so forth.
Well, in reality, what you need to keep the sport alive until they get older, though, is you need to have kids that are getting into it, but their dads or their moms are into it also.
Yeah.
So the parents will actually take them or go with them.
Right.
Because it's weird to me. Granted, paintball's not for everybody. Because right now, I look like I've been shooting up, and I did a bad job at it. Because I got these two. No, I'm not even joking. I'll send you a picture in a little bit. I got these two horrible bruises on my arm that seriously look like I was trying to shoot up drugs, or I got my veins destroyed doing it this weekend. And I mean, there's a lot of people that just don't want that. They do not want to get shot, and they're okay with not shooting at anybody.
Well,
So and there's plenty of parents that just go drop their kids off and go, here's the money, have fun, which is like, well, hey, if that's you being supportive, that's still a good thing. Like, what we need is people playing. Because yeah, like Karl said, it is an expensive sport, and a lot of times playing isn't even the most expensive thing. If you start traveling, that's when it gets expensive, because now you gotta, are you gonna sleep in a tent? And once you're a grown man, how many times you quit sleeping in a tent or sleeping in the back of a truck? Like, so yeah, it depends. It's like, I don't want to spend $100 in the hotel, or I just lay the seat back a little more, and I smell.
I've got an individual on my team that him and his son have been with me and on my team for the last 5 years. And his whole thing is he wants to come out and have fun with his son. So that's what it's about. He'll try and make it out if he can, but he wants his son to come out and have a great time. And the more that his son is able to get out there, and the great thing about it is that his son is very responsible. He just turned 16. He's got his car, everything like this, but he's not making the mistakes that, a lot of the kids are. This kid has to have A's and B's for him to be able to go and do these things. Those are what you want, because I've already got another young man who joined my team when he was 16. He had the same rules that his parents gave him, and ended up getting an academic scholarship to Purdue. So
in Lafayette?
Yeah.
Very nice.
So those are the individuals that, are really, really important to the sport, because those are the individuals whose parents are going to be out there with them. But not just that, they're making the investment into this sport. I want my young guns to be taught everything. I mean, if I took everything that I know about paintball and put it back into my 19-year-old self, I'd be really good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
I'm not saying I'm not good now.
I'd still be doing the same stupid shit.
But that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to take these young guns that are on our team and teach them about, taking a command or taking leadership over a squad. Every single person on my team is able to lead. And that's the great thing about that, is because they can get out there, and it doesn't matter, if they take 20 guys and say, hey, we're going this way. Those 20 guys are listening, and they're going that way with that individual. The same kid that I was just talking about, there was a game that I was commanding against a good friend of mine, and I saw this kid with a Tippmann Griffin and a rotor on top. So
that is awesome.
The rotor cost more than the gun.
That is so awesome.
When he was 13 years old, leading the charge, and you have 30 and 40-year-old guys following him.
Well, hold on. The 30 and 40-year-old guys were probably following because they didn't have the speed to outpace the young man.
That may be as well.
So they didn't follow. They only followed because they were beating a foot race, is what I believe probably happened. And all the 20-year-old guys and down, they were following.
Now, I've seen where when I played at Sherwood in March, they had, I think it was Bryan Cole was the commander, but his XO was, his name's Panda, and he's from his home field's like Indy Battlegrounds, but he's only 13. So, I mean, it's just, his mom took him there. His mom helped Billy Jack take the pictures. I don't know if you're familiar with Billy Jack, but integrity shots and airsoft.
Billy Jack's an amazing guy.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, who doesn't know him? I mean, he'll be down here next weekend, actually, to shoot our wedding and stuff. But
yeah, that's what I was about to say. Woo, woo.
Yeah. So so he actually produced that game at Sherwood in March, and it was just like it's just an incredible thing to see this young gun going out there, and
Didn't they win?
They did. Yeah,
I was gonna say I remember they won.
Yep, they did, and that was kind of a lot of that was kind of the opposing team's commander really wasn't into it, and he he left Indiana.
Before the final battle or something.
Yeah, he did. So, I mean, they just didn't have...
I heard about that. I'm like, wait, he did what?
Yeah.
He left before the game was over? I'm like, what the fuck? Was he trying to lose?
It just was...
I had a long drive. You knew that when you signed up for this shit. I don't know where he is from. I remember hearing about it.
Yeah, he was originally from Indiana, and he had just got back from California from vacation, I believe, and it was like right after that they moved to Texas. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah. So anyway, but
that's fun.
I'm hoping to get I'm hoping to get to Normandy this weekend with my hopefully bring my son up there just to kind of watch and check it out. I'm actually I got a small field in Millhouse, not too far from me. I'm going to try to test it out and see how it goes around here. But
is that the place you said you were doing around your father-in-law's place, or?
Yeah. It's really kind of high grass and weedy, but it's decent bunkers and stuff like that, and it's nothing.
It's where it all starts.
Yeah, it's nothing to jump up and down about, but like I said, I'd like to eventually. I mean, I'm hoping this weekend sometime to come up to Anderson and check out White River because I'd like to get. So my son's, even his Instagram, he cracks me up because he has a jersey and pants. And as soon as he got a jersey and pants, and our local guy hooked him up with the Sly Prophet mask, he changed his status to pro paintballer, and I'm like, dude.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did. I'm like, you own a Chaos, you own a like semi-auto, and you don't you don't play that often. How are you pro? It's like,
you shut your face.
Like he's just funny. So then he changed it the other day to almost pro paintballer.
Semi-pro.
It was just like cracking up. But he's like 13 and he loves it. And he's just like, oh, when are we gonna play? We're gonna play this weekend. I'm like, dude, you're with your mom, or we're saving. We gotta get ready, for this wedding. But after that, yeah, we'll try to get out there once a month. And so
we'll bring him on out. We'll save him a spot on Axis.
No. See, this is not, you know what? Actually, go on down. You're gonna be my inside guy.
But you guys want to promote?
I wonder if we could get you a press pass or something for the show to go out there. Honestly, Karl, do you have a good relationship with the owner of the field, or?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, do you think that's something he might do to let Chris go out there with like a press pass and to promote the game?
Absolutely. The only thing he'll have to do is he has to fill out a waiver.
Well, I mean, that sounds fair.
That would be, yeah.
I mean, I'd reach out, but I don't know who the hell I'd reach out to.
The individual that you'd want to reach out to is Brad Coleman.
Okay.
Oh, that's why he's always busy. Now that makes sense.
Who is?
Well, no, somebody else told me to ask for Brad for something, and I did. And every time I called, it's like, oh, he's busy, or he's doing something. And I'm like, well, hey, just left my name, number, and blah, blah, blah. But nobody told me he's the owner. I mean, sometimes it's like, hey, if it's
not the owner. He's the general manager of the field.
Oh, okay. So he's just the head's groundsman.
Yeah, the owner, he runs Point Summit, which is what White River falls into. They've got zip lines there at White River, but then they also have a zip line field down in Florida.
Okay.
So the owner is back and forth quite a bit.
How the hell did he combine zipline and paintball? Which one came first?
Paintball was there first.
Okay. And then zipline was added second, I guess, to both locations, or?
Actually, I think he's still trying to put together the paintball field down in Florida.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, I'm sorry. I was saying more like it was the paintball field here, and then he went into the zip lines. I didn't know he was doing one in Florida at all.
Yeah, he did paintball first. It was actually at another location, and then he bought this field and transformed it into what it is. Was
it already an operating field when he bought it?
No, it was not.
Okay, so he bought land and then turned it into a field. How big is this place? Because I know it's big. I remember it being, I'd guesstimate at least 100 acres or more, including the parking lot, maybe even 200.
Yeah, if you include everything, it's pretty big. The playing field, you're probably looking at about maybe 30, 35.
See, I thought it was more than that. Just because of the way they stretched out, though. Well, they stretch out weird. Not weird. They're just, like Karl said, the woods are like kind of 50% of it, but they're in the middle, breaking up the other field sections, kind of, right?
Yeah.
which is a nice divider.
Really good sized field that will be used strictly for open play.
Yeah.
And they also run a screen park out of the same location. So.
Really?
Yeah, and that takes place all through October and at least the first week in November.
That must be the thing with paintball fields, because our local guy has a field, and they do what they call the Hopeless Hollow, and then even Dark Armies up around Indianapolis, they do the same thing.
Well, what else could you really do with a paintball field?
That's true.
In the wintertime, believe me, in the winter, once it gets cold, these players, we're really complaining, we bitches, honestly. Oh, it's too hot. Oh, it's too cold. I want to just play when it's right out. It's like, well, that's not happening. But in all honesty, I mean, a lot of players don't want to play in the summer either. They always complain about the heat. Right. So paintball's a rough sport to be in on the business side of it.
Yeah.
And so what else are you going to do?
Right.
Yeah, what are you going to do in the winter when all the players go, yeah, I'm going to hibernate?
I got to get ready for next season.
Well, I play one cold weather game all year, and that's Battle of the Hoth and Blast Camp. So if it's cold, we're playing. If it's nice, we're playing. But I don't go out of my way for it,
Right.
So, yeah, I would imagine that paintball places would have to do something else. So that would make sense. They have the area to make a creepy place, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey, Karl, after the show, if you wouldn't mind sending me that guy's information, I'll see if I can get a hold of him, and then maybe I'll come up on Sunday and bring my son.
That would be awesome.
So we'll check out his first scenario game. And are you now, I know Bryan's going to the Star Trek convention.
Yeah.
But Karl, have you ever played at Sherwood?
I have.
Oh.
Recently or?
Back in 2009.
Oh, so that's way back.
Closed the first time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because they closed for a while. I didn't know what happened there, if they restructured or...
They weren't getting the numbers that they wanted for the scenario. So until they were able to build it back up to where they could get the numbers back up, they didn't want to put on games, because that's a really big field.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And, unfortunately, you have 100 players playing on a field that size, you're not going to see each other for a long time.
Mm-hmm. That's the sad part. You put a 200 players and it's barely enough.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, because they barely started, I think, three years ago or so with the big games again.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Because that's when I was going to go play for Narf that year. He was doing the Indiana Jones game, I want to say. Actually, I think he was commanding it against Dean, the guy who does the Mission Masters games.
Dean Allen, yep.
Yep. I want to say that was that year that they opened them back up, and that was 3-4 years ago. That was the year of Blood Diamond, Karl.
Yes.
Whatever year that was that year.
That would have been...
14. That was 2014.
14, yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's so sad. Ask your wife, have her come on the show and ask us, when's our anniversary? I don't fucking know. What year was the Blood Diamond game? Well, that was 2014. No, definitely. I guarantee that.
I know. I'm really, really nice. My wife's birthday's in January. Mine's in February. Our anniversary's in March. So I know.
See, look at that. Win. See, I used to have to be like, babe, so what do you want to do for our anniversary? And hope she'd tell me in time.
Our local guy, he asked me the other day, he asked me today, he said, hey, I heard you want a Valken code for your wedding present. And I said, LOL, I said, that's kind of funny. I said, I've been looking at electric guns, but, hey, if, somebody who's got one or something like that. And I was telling my fiance about it. She's like, no.
Oh, hell no.
That'd be kind of dick if he hooked you up with a code. Like,
why would that be bad?
So, it's just funny.
Always getting in the way, right?
Always getting in the way, man. You guys want to plug anything real quick?
Are you doing anything else? Any other command gigs or anything? Do you really command anymore, Karl?
I do. So this year, obviously, I'm commanding this weekend.
Boo. You don't have to show up, by the way. Got word that it's going to be an easy weekend. You could take it off. Even come on the other team, give us some pointers. I'd be okay with that.
After this, one of my guys is commanding September 9th at White River's one-day game. Something new that they're doing this year.
Not a bad idea. Well, hold on. Would that one-day game also fall on White River's scenario pass?
I believe it would, yeah.
Because I thought that was fucking awesome when I saw they did that. It was, what, $50 for the year or $75 for the year if you buy it?
Yeah, I think it's
but you have to buy it before a certain date, like early in the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't give a shit. Like, if you're a local player, that's a fucking deal because you go to 2 games and you already saved half your entry. And that's if you pre-registered for both of them. You could literally make up your mind the day before, and it's even more worth it.
So there's the game in September, and then in October, I'm Jerry Grimm's XO
For the
Fort Knox.
Wait, you said September, right? No. Are you talking about the DC game?
Manning is in September at White River.
What's the
Knox, I'm XOing for Jerry Grimm. And then
that's the Freddie Jason game. The Freddie Jason game.
Right.
Yeah. Actually, I'll meet you there, Karl.
So
I plan on going to that one.
maybe we'll play on the same side that one.
I will have to make sure because I was just talking to Grimm today, but I was confusing it with the DC Marvel vs. DC game they got coming up.
Yeah, that one's in September.
Yeah, and that one I had told him I'd play, but he's the XO. That's why when you said XO, and I'm like, that's wrong.
Yeah, I contacted Jerry and told him that I was interested in commanding, and he said that Lefty, their head ref, is actually the one that's putting on the October game, and it's set up to where it's Grimm Sports versus Payroll.
That is actually really cool. You know what? I actually like that. I just met Payroll and actually talked to him for the first time. I'd bumped into him before because I've met Lefty but Grimm and Payroll, from what I understand, have the same group of friends for the most part.
Yeah.
And they are fucking cool guys as far as always promoting each other's games.
Well,
and even
taught by Payroll.
What'd you say?
Jerry was actually taught by Payroll.
Really?
Yeah.
That is awesome. I mean, I think it's cool because just before World at War, Grimm's putting up an announcement for the game for Fallout. And it's like, well, if you can't make this, there's a one-day game going on over here. And it's like, who the fuck does that? So you makes you assume that there's good friendship, camaraderie going on there.
Oh, absolutely. So I'll be helping him out. And then in November, I'm back at White River commanding their 3-team game.
A 3-way melee or?
Passed. And it didn't really work like they wanted it to, but this one Chris is putting on, and he's got some great ideas for this one.
How do you think a 3-team melee should work? Because that is always weird.
Well,
the closest I got was when we did this Mission Masters this past week, and I thought it was going to be a 4-way melee, and it turned out to be, like 2v2 all day.
Yeah.
You were just rotating your teams. So I can only imagine.
With this one, he's putting precautions in place to where, if you team up with another side, your points get slashed in half for the amount of time, for the hour that you're actually teamed up with that other side.
So that's actually awesome. You're discouraging alliances.
Exactly.
Well, because when I got the gig to do Armageddon, I reached out to other people who had done previous Armageddons, and they would tell me the same thing. Oh, if one or two teams is doing bad, you ally and go beat up on somebody else real fast. And so then once things balance out, you'd break your alliance with them again. But I'm like, well, that kind of sucks. I mean, I figured it should be everyone for their own all weekend.
White River did a 3-team game before. They had 3 insertions per team, which for the size of the field that they had was way too many.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe 2 at most.
They did unlimited rockets, which at the time they had their city. So, one of my guys actually went out and bought a rocket launcher just for that event.
What city are you talking about? Where all the, the cubes were put up?
City is now.
That was where all the cubicles were, right?
Yeah, there was a lot of cubicles, a couple of trailers, some.
Yeah, okay, yep. I just wanted to make sure that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, so I mean, me and a handful of my guys pretty much owned the city because you couldn't get in the building.
Bombarded into the ground, yeah.
We'd just blow them up. And with unlimited rockets, it was kind of sad because I could shoot, the ref would run out, tell everyone they were dead, and then bring the rocket back to me.
No.
Yeah.
See, the ref shouldn't have been doing that. That's favoritism.
Don't worry, those refs are gone.
Oh, okay. See, I was gonna say, which ref was it? What was his name? You sure he's gone? Because I think you just ratted yourself out.
Well, no, yeah, he's no longer reffing. He was the general manager.
Oh, that's awesome.
No, I'm just kidding. But, Chris has got the idea for the field already set up to where, how he wants it. Each team's going to have one insertion, and you just rotate. Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, and then Sunday morning. So that way every team plays each insertion and from that direction.
That's pretty cool.
Even for everybody.
That's actually really cool.
So
because that does suck when you don't rotate.
Come on out and play for the Regulators.
The Regulators?
Yep.
Is that the faction name?
Yeah, that's the side.
What's your team name, Karl, by the way?
I'm with Team Phoenix.
Phoenix, because I didn't hear Chris usually introduces our teams, and he skipped us this time.
Oh, yeah, I didn't say, what is it, Splat City Assault?
Yeah.
I usually catch it. I must have missed it.
It's all right. Yeah, shit, I don't have any more games. I didn't pick anything else out after September, or after this game. Just because got, Dad's birthday anniversary in August. Star Trek, coming up in September. But yeah, no, I really didn't. So I kind of just wing it because usually if I get busy at work, I'll just try to stack up. That's why I always try to stack up October. I won't play, all of November, August, September, and then just play 3 out of 4 weeks in October.
So what Star Trek convention are you going to in September?
The one in Chicago. You a Star Trek fan? You're gonna be there?
I'll be there.
Get the fuck out of here. Where'd you get?
Star Trek fan, and I take her every year.
Oh, that is so awesome. Karl, you be dead serious?
I'm dead serious.
Oh, that's fucking. You staying at the Westin?
We are.
That's fucking great. We're gonna have to party, dude. We're getting a drink. Well, dude, man, dude, are you sitting up front or in the back, or if you don't mind my ask?
Up front.
Gold?
We're the second row to the right of the stage.
I'm row B or row C. I might be sitting right behind you, dude.
Yeah.
I'm right at the very far right. I'm on the far right, and I think I'm row C.
Yeah, you may be right behind me.
Dude, no fucking way. Hold on. Let me check my tickets right now, because I really think I'm right behind you.
Leave it to this podcast to bring guys together for a Star Trek convention.
Like you said, paintball's a big family. If you're on, I'll tell you right now where I'm sitting, man. I'm turning it on. Oh man, but yeah, me and my wife, we used to go to the Stargate convention for the last 2-3 years, and it started because the Stargate convention landed on our anniversary. So that's when we went the first time. We had fun, so one's like, oh, well, let's get a gold pass, and fuck it, we'll splurge and go again. And last year was the last Stargate convention, so we decided to do something else. And she picked Once Upon a Time, which we went to, as if it was all right. But we happened to finish watching Star Trek Next Generation just a month ago. I'd only seen a couple episodes here and there. So me and her picked a new show, and we started with the original Star Trek earlier this year, and we just finished Next Generation last month. And we just started Deep Space Nine right now. So by chance, I'm like, oh, look, they have a Star Trek convention coming on. Holy shit, the entire cast from Next Generation is there. We should go to this.
Yeah, the only missing is Picard.
Well, did you see we may end up losing on Riker? I forget his real name. I don't know anybody's real names.
Franks.
Yeah, because they said they were getting him to direct the new Star Trek series, Discovery.
Yeah.
So that may suck, because that would suck not having him there, because then it'd be like Picard number 1 and number 2.
That's awesome.
Yeah, last year we went.
See, that's what you get for talking shit.
I took my wife out to Vegas for the Star Trek convention there.
I heard that one's a great time.
It is. We had an amazing time. Got to meet a lot of really good actors. Whoopi Goldberg was there. Scott Bakula was there.
I don't know who Scott Bakula is. I don't really know anybody. You'd have to tell him by their TV name.
Okay, have you ever watched the show Quantum Leap?
Nope.
Okay, what about NCIS New Orleans?
No.
Well, then, yeah.
I don't watch a lot of TV either. I guess it's...
So.
All right. Well.
Hold on. I'll message you, Karl. I'm trying to log into my email right now, and I'm like, oh man.
Okay, Chris is just gonna delete this last part out.
No, he's gonna leave it out because now this is funny because this shit came up 2 podcasts ago.
Yep.
Oh, this is too funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
shit, I'll probably be seeing you at Star Trek then, and then maybe at Fort Knox.
All right, that's awesome. I'm bringing
All
guys
right, well,
together. The Star Trek.
Oh, shit, this is too funny. Later, guys.
All right, thanks, Brian. Thanks, Karl. I appreciate it.
Not a
Have
problem.
a good
Have
weekend.
a good day.
Hopefully,
I hope to see you all this weekend.
Yep.
Bye.
Good. All right, see ya.
Bye.